There's a new Android emulator in town, and it's made specifically for the Apple M1 chip. Alright, so recently you might have caught the video on Dev Channel here on YouTube, reviewing how you can install a preview build of the Android emulator for the M1 chip. So if you haven't caught that, check out Dev Channel. By the way, you can give Dev Channel a subscribe also, as well as subscribe here to follow the latest developments on the Apple M1 processor. So what are we doing today? Why am I making this video? Well, a lot of you have asked me to do a review of the Android. I did the Android Studio installation here a few videos ago, so you can check that out as well. And I'm doing some performance benchmarking against my last year's 2019. 2019 is last year, it's still 2020. You might be watching this in 2021. But anyway, 2019 MacBook Pro with the i9 processor, 64 gigs of RAM, and the new MacBook Air with the M1 chip, 16 gigs of RAM. So right now, where we are is sometimes the M1 chip wins and sometimes the MacBook Pro wins. And I think that the pattern has to do with whenever there's file I/O, the MacBook M1 wins. And whenever there is high intensity processing going on that requires an intense processing power and memory, then the MacBook Pro wins. So that's been the story so far, just to catch you up on what's going on. If you missed all those videos, you can find them on this channel as well. Let's get on with the version 2 of the Android emulator preview. You can find that right here by going to Google. That's where I like to start my things if I don't know where they are. Google is good at finding them. Android emulator M1 preview. There it is. You can just click on, first link is fine, and then you'll see that there's some releases. You want to find the releases page, which is right there. So Dev Channel reviewed this initial preview, and now there is preview 2. That's what we're gonna do right now. So I'm gonna download the Android emulator M1 preview version 2. Once that's downloaded, let's open that up. I'm gonna double click that to install. All right, there's the emulator. It doesn't even have a good icon yet. I'm sure soon it will, but now it doesn't. Let's drag that over to applications, drop it in there. Now, from what I've seen, you can't start a project, an Android Studio project, and automatically detect the emulator's presence on the system. So you have to kick off the emulator first, and then you would attach whatever process you have running in Android Studio to the emulator. So let's kick things off. I'm gonna go to applications and I'm gonna start up the Android emulator first. Let's see what it does. It is taking a little bit of time to start up, and it says Android emulator cannot be opened because the developer cannot be verified. Pretty typical message when you download executables from the internet on Apple. So what you gotta do here is go to System Preferences. Let's get this out of the way. And go to General. Go to Security and Privacy. Click to make changes. All right, I needed to cancel out of that dialog in order for it to show up here under Security and Privacy and Preferences. So here it says Android emulator was blocked from use because it is not from an identified developer. We're gonna say open anyway. Let's go ahead and open, and there it is. I did get some other message. Let's take a look at that. It says could not automatically detect an ADB binary. Some emulator functionality will not work until a custom path to ADB is added, and it tells you how to do it. You can go to Extended Controls, Settings, General tab, and then Use Detected ADB Location. And there's our emulator. It's actually up and running now. You know, it's the basic emulator. What are you gonna do? Let's go ahead and start up Android Studio. And I already created a project last time. You might have seen me do that. A very basic project called My Application, because we're so creative on this channel. And I don't feel like creating another project here because it takes a while to build it. Let's go over here to virtual devices. I want to run it. Let's go ahead and select that virtual device, and I'm gonna hit Run App. Let's see if it actually runs on this new emulator. So it's doing the build, and it opened up in the emulator. Awesome. So this works. So we have the iOS simulator working, and we have the Android emulator working on the new M1 Mac. Now granted, the emulator is just a preview, so not everything is gonna work, of course, but at least you can get some idea of what your app will look like from a UI standpoint. And of course, you can hook up a real device to the computer and be able to debug that way and run your apps that way, of course. There's preview 2. I'll be honest with you, not much has changed since preview 1. Thanks Dev Channel for first showing how to do this. Go ahead and give Dev Channel a follow, and also do subscribe to this channel for more information on the M1 from a developer standpoint. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.